sounds like a silly question. It's probably not a silly question because you were never taught this at school, and as we're dealing with metaphysical energies, it's not quite a logical platform from the teachings that we had originally. So, has anybody got any questions at all? Yes.
Do spirit guides take time to be together in their spare time? Do they get to sort of hang out together?
Yeah, it's a good one. Do spirit guides hang out together?
Yeah.
The answer is yes, and they all do on different levels, because they all seek support from others in a group, and we could be like a group of spirit guides to say we're up in the spirit world, and then we'd have our support group supporting us. So if the vibration is the same, they will be supporting on that particular level, and you might make friends with another guide that's on another level up, which often happens because the idea is that everyone progresses whether they are here or whether they are there. So all of you who've been around spiritual energies or starting to be around spiritual energies, when you get to head office, you will be mixing with other people, because you may find on level 2 that some of the people there don't quite understand about the spirit world. Well, from 1 to 2, basically, those 2 levels. So you might say, well, I sat in circle. And then you would explain it, and teaching people to be more relaxed, more balanced, and to understand where they are. So the answer is yes, they do hang out together. And if you think about it, very much like attracts like, the vibration of all of us here are similar on a spiritual level. Not the same, but they are similar. Good question. Any other questions at all?
Is death predetermined?
Unless you have fish and chips every day, and if you smoke 60 Woodbines, that's showing my age, or anything like that, you can, it's up to you. I mean, what does the Bible say, 70 years and 10, but seems to be a lot more health and healthier things going on. Even today on television in Russia, believe it or not, saw a short documentary of a surgeon, and she's 94, and she's still operating. She does 3 or 4 operations a week. So it's really up to you. If your mind's active, then that's fine, you're not shutting anything down. So it's a bit like driving your vehicles for those who've got cars. One day you'll have to go to the scrapyard and you'll get a new one. Same on the spiritual level. If you look after yourself, you can only do your best. Some of it may be genetic transfer from parents so far down the line, and the other might be your style of living, because you're a bit of a party animal and all that sort of stuff, and late nights, those sort of things that you can burn the candle at both ends and be only 22, look like 42. Not you personally. So yeah, look after it, do the best, because this is the biggest problem anyone on a spiritual pathway does. They almost reject themselves. I'm not important, they go, and they help everyone else, and they look like they're needing retirement, because it's healthy mind, body and soul. So if you're doing this work, look after yourself, do a little bit of exercise, try and eat some of the right food. It doesn't matter if you have the wrong foods as well, find that balance, and try and find time to do a little bit of exercise, whatever rocks your boat. I know we don't like to do it, but it keeps us going so much farther, and we can help more people. Good question. Anyone else at all? Yes?
Okay, looking back to the spirit guide, when they change over, what's like the significant or sort of the catalyst for change?
Yeah, you'll probably have, what happens, you won't get the dedicated, you'll get one dedicated person, which is your doorkeeper, your mind guardian angel, will be with you all the time. But you'll have probably 3 to 4 other teachers, spiritual guides, around you. Now they will come and they will go, because at the time when you, like the time when you went to school or college, you had tutors for that year, and once you learned something, you went up a year and you got different lecturers, so to speak. And it's the same in the spirit plane as well. They will teach you so much, and then they will move on, and you'll get a newer spirit guide, lecturer, helper, assistant, to bring you on your next level of spiritual development. So you'll have your main guide with you all your life. You'll have other guides that will sit on your peripheral that won't come in maybe for a couple of years, because they're watching how you're getting on. Because all those guides are guided, not let loose just to do what they want. Not that they shouldn't do. And slowly and gradually they will come in. But what you may find is the guides that you're used to tuning into, one day won't be there. And that is actually because you progress. They've not gone fed up and gone off and said, I've had enough, I'm off. What it is you've spiritually attuned yourself to another level. So you don't actually need that guide, you need high level guides. Or at the start, you see everything. I don't know if you found when some of you at the start, you could see spirit, you could see this, you could see that, you think, wow, I love the license I've got. and then all of a sudden you go, I've done something wrong, they've gone away from me. That's, I see it nodding, that's not the case. It just means you've spiritually progressed, and all the energy they put in to get you just to recognise they're there, they let go because they know you do recognise that. We want it easy. So we have to be more intuitive, we have to listen more, we have to meditate more, and we get more, basically. So all of us at the start would have had lots and lots of assistance, lots of hand-holding on the spiritual level. And as we progress, they step back. Your guardian angel always stays with you. They don't dominate you because your life, your decisions. Yeah? So they all progress, and as you progress, you'll have new teachers that will come in, new spiritual guides that will come in, which is really good. So they don't get retired, they just move on and they help others. And you can get some guides that will help several people, but they tend to be more dedicated with one person at a time. But they can move around a little bit if they've got a training ability in something else. Hope that helps. Anyone else at all?
I'm still using my pendulum.
Yes.
And it tells me things are going to happen.
Yes.
And then I expect it to happen at a certain point and it doesn't.
Right. And you're asking me what you should do.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Put your pendulum in the drawer. You don't need it. You can be misled a little bit by that, you know. I'm not saying you've got a shaky head, I'm not saying you're willing it for a yes and a no, or whatever you do. It's a way of starting to understand how spiritual or psychic energy start. And to be honest, as you progress, you won't need that. And you're getting to the stage where it's becoming unreliable for that. So the best thing is to take that as an experience and put it in the drawer. If someone else wants to play with it, that's fine. If you want to measure chakras with it, that's fine, but don't go question, answer. Yeah, because you can do this without being tuned in. If you're tuned in, you'll get your answers. But if you're not tuned in, you're not sure if you've got accurate answers. It's a bit like finding someone in the telephone book says, I've got a question for you. I don't know what you're talking about. And you could get the wrong answers. Yeah. So I would suggest it's been a good experience. A lot of people have used those. And now I would say if you put it in the drawer, if someone else wants to have a play with it, then you need to go up the next grade. That's a really good question. You might feel you don't want to, just the way you're facing, oh no, I love it. But it's good to love it, but use it for measuring chakras. You know, if you're in the healing group, measure those sort of things. That's what you need it for. That's what I've ever used it for. And I did try that at the start. Give me a yes, give me a no. I wasn't going for the lottery, but I was trying different things. And I thought, I don't really need this because I wasn't tuned in. It's more of a psychic tool than a spiritual one. I mean, what the highest level of answers. So though you've had fun with it, measure chakras and put it in the drawer. Or hang it in your window or something to do with it. You know. Good questions. Anyone else has any? No. Okay, thank you for that. Now it's time to do some work. This is a passive